I'm struggling a lot today, seeing all these videos of the hate going around with this mass deportation.
I keep seeing these people pop up on my FYP with the videos of the Latinos that are crying because they got their abuelitos deported. And them crying saying, "We believed your words. We believed your words." What words did you believe? Because every word he said he was going to do exactly what he's doing now. You see, the problem is a lot of y'all have been in this country for a long time. Your abuelos have been here for a long time and nothing has happened to them. So you believe that that was going to be true this time around. You could vote for this man and he would look out for you. I don't know why you thought he would look out for you, because he's never fucking said that shit. In all reality, a lot of you are just anti-black and you don't want to acknowledge that. So you pretended that Trump said something that he never fucking said. And it's the same thing that I saw with the Dearborn, Michigan Muslims that voted for Donald Trump, sending him a letter immediately after they started seeing the appointments, the pro-Israel appointments, the ones that were saying that there's no such thing as Palestine appointments, that were saying you made promises to us. And Dearborn, Michigan went red for the first time ever. And we're hoping that you will uphold those promises. What promises did he make to you? Because everything that he said he would do exactly what he's doing. He said in the first presidential debate, you should have listened to him, that Joe Biden hasn't done enough for Israel, that he will do more, that he will give Israel all of the weapons that they need to finish the job. And he's not going to be like Joe Biden and stand in the way and act like a Palestinian. I will continue to make this point until I'm blue in the face. A lot of you thought that you can endure a Trump presidency before giving Kamala Harris a chance. A lot of you allowed your anti-blackness and misogyny to override common sense. You saw what this lady was saying, and every single time she would give you exactly what you wanted, you would hear from her exactly what you wanted to hear. You would consistently move the goalpost to the point where you basically just acknowledged that no matter what she said, no matter what she advocated that she would do, you would have never voted for her. And that's just stupid. That's just stupid. You heard exactly what we all heard Trump say during the election cycle. But in reality, you never thought that he would actually go through with it. Again, you were willing to endure a Trump presidency than to give Kamala Harris a chance. And now you're fucked.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and also subscribing on this channel. I really do appreciate your love and support. So on our today's episode, we're looking into this video of Latinos actually realizing that they effed around and now they're finding out the hard way. And this is actually not to the illegal immigrants, but Latinos and also the Hispanic community, that actually the legal migrants or the Latinos who are actually citizens of the United States of America went on ahead and voted against their own self-interest or against their own people, against their relatives. And now they are here on social media, they are here on TikTok, openly asking why Black Americans are not helping them. Remember when 92% of Black American women said that they're resting? They didn't just say this for the sake of saying, but they actually meant it. So I want us to watch these videos together of this lady asking why Black Americans are not supporting them. And it's just the other day I did a video of this Mexican man who actually came online and said that his community is not alone and he does not, or his community does not need Black people to help them, but instead he has all these other countries to help them. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But now his people, the Hispanic people, are here asking for help from the Black community with everything that's going on with the mass deportation. Mind you, or remember, these people actually voted for their people to be deported, and now they're back here asking why Black Americans are not helping them out. I want us to watch these videos together. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credit belongs to the original creators of these videos. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Gracey D. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. And if you're a Black American watching this video, are you going to help Latinos and the Hispanic community? Are you going to march for them? Are you going to protest for them so that they remain in the United States of America, even after their own community voting against them and voting for them to be deported? Let me know in the comment section. So let's dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary.
Don't call me baby. I'm not your baby.
The call is coming from within the house. The call is coming from within the house. Black people advocated, protested, raised money, and all voted accordingly. We are literally the only group of people who cared enough to try and save every other group of people, despite never getting that same energy in return. And the fact that so many Latinos are currently shocked about what's going on in America shows exactly that so many people were not educated and did not know about American policies, were not educated on American history, and had no clue what they were voting for. You heard it was a woman that was unqualified. You heard DEI is related to black people. You heard affirmative action. You heard all of these kind of sparky buzzwords that people try to throw around that mean absolutely nothing, and you fell for it. During BLM, it took a man to lose his life on a video for people to say, maybe those black people are on to something. And that is the difference. We did not need to figure out or even see what was going to happen to Latino people because we never wanted you to be on the opposite end of the discrimination.
I'm struggling a lot today, seeing all these videos of the hate going around with this mass deportation. And it hurts my heart because, you voted for who you voted for. But why so much hate? How can you mock the kids that are losing their parents or the parents that are losing their kids, living in constant fear for what may happen to your friends and your family and even people that you see on social media. It hurts. It hurts. Because why is there so much hate? Why do you have to be this way?
This message is for, my brothers and sisters in the Latino community. Right now is a scary time, okay? And I understand that a lot of you are feeling the pressure to be in a situation where you literally don't know if you can go to work, if you can send your kids to school, if you can go to the grocery store without being snatched up by law enforcement and having everything that you know and love taken away from you is not an easy way to live. And because you're feeling that pressure, you don't really know where to turn. So instinctively, you have decided to put your frustrations onto the black community. Now, this is not all of you. We understand that. We understand this is a small number. We understand this is probably the ones who are the most scared by what's going on right now. But the reason you are feeling like you need to be frustrated with us has everything to do with what you were taught to hate in this country. You see, the very people who are snatching you up out of these schools, these hospitals, these churches, your places of work, are also the ones who have been telling you for a long, long time that your biggest obstacle is the black community. And the reason why a good number of you bought into it is because, wow, your community does have a very rich history here in this country. You were made to believe that if things ever went south, if things ever started to look the way they look right now, we would be the ones in trouble and you would be safe. It's funny, I saw the young lady who posted the video saying that, Latinos were there for black people during the BLM movement, and she's wondering why we are not having your back now. But that is definitely revisionist history. And take it from somebody who was very active in those protests back in 2020. I lived in Chicago, and and we protested in just about every neighborhood in that city, even some Latino communities. And I don't want to make this a big story, but in the Latino community, we were actually jumped. We were actually assaulted by people who lived there because they did not like that we were there trying to preach the message we were preaching. But even now, I have no hard feelings because as a black man in this country, I fully understand the lie that it continues to sell our communities in order for us to stay at odds with each other. And I was always taught to fight for what is right, even if people don't appreciate it. So I don't hold any ill will towards you. I don't hold any ill will towards the people who are feeling upset with us right now. But what I will say to you, as a small piece of advice, some lessons really need to be learned the hard way. And we are still here for you. Trust me, we are still here, but some lessons need to be learned the hard way. You see, some communities need to understand. They need to understand firsthand how scary and how evil this country can be. For so many years, decades even, so many other ethnic groups, so many other racial backgrounds came into this community and tried to brush off the warning signs that the black community would give them over and over and over again. But now you can't ignore the fact that this is the reality of America. And they have no love for anybody that is not a straight, white, Christian male. And even though they spent all this time trying to get you all to align with them, they spent decade upon decade trying to tell you that aligning with them would allow for your life to be better in this country. The first chance they got to throw you overboard, the first chance that they got to screw you over, the first chance that they got to subjugate you against your will, they took it. That was the warning that we kept trying to get through to you. That was what we were trying to explain all throughout this campaign process, why you should not be voting for Donald Trump, a man who kept saying over and over that he was going to deport you the second he got into that office. We did our job. We did our job. We took ourselves to the polls and we voted the way we knew would be beneficial to everybody, even the people who didn't love us. We voted to secure those rights. But some of you just did not feel like it was a good idea to vote that way. Some of you really did not want to take our advice. So these are the consequences. America never changed. America has always been like this. But now you are actually seeing it. Whereas before, you kind of just thought it was a myth.
Well, guys, it seems that we are in the season of Latino salty tears. Back in from my running around this morning and tuned in to some of my favorite YouTubers and came across this video of this young lady going viral. Wonder what she's talking about. Well, she starts out with, she got time. Today she got time. Which was telling me she thought she was going to come in and, you know, leave no crumbs. I said, okay, here we go. So she says she's going on and on about, you know, what's going on with the mass deportations. And she goes into this spiel of, you know, of course, you know, we need to come together. But before she did that, she said that she really didn't care what we think because this was happening to them. As if they're the only ones being affected by this Trump administration that they put into office. So while she's sitting up talking about, well, it's not affecting y'all, you know, however she put it. Selfish Susie, you're not the only one being affected by what's going on. Yeah, your case may be mass deportation. Ours is a whole bunch of other things. One of them is our civil rights, which is a lot of what helps you out today, or helped you out today. So, you know, we have our own battles to fight. But then you go and say we need to come together. Come together and do what, sweetie? Come together and do what? What do you want us to do? You want us to march for you? You want us to protest? You want us to come and circle the wagons around your community? You want us to come and be lookouts? Let y'all know ICE is coming, ICE is coming. What do you want us to do? Because when we tried to help you, when we tried to say come together, when y'all weren't in a position of vulnerability, when y'all weren't in a position of victimhood, when you thought you were in a position of power, when you thought you were in a position of status, what did you say? When we all said we need to try to come together, what did you do? What did you say? All I want to know is what's different now. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, got it. Now it's affecting you. So that makes it what, a whole new ball game? It's a whole new situation, a whole new set of what? I don't understand.
Yeah, guys, so, you know, a few number of Latino people are actually very frustrated with the black community of what's happening. And it's quite sad that some are seeing what's happening as it's black people's fault. Remember, black people tried to warn you. Black people tried to sing this song. And they told you that later you actually find out for what you're voting for. Later, after effing around, you'll be finding out the hardest way. So many Latinos that actually voted, because these people that are actually getting deported, they didn't have papers. They don't have papers. There's no way they can vote. It's actually there are people that voted against them. And now, the same people that actually voted against them are the same ones who are coming to make videos saying that they're very angry seeing people celebrating, you know, people getting deported, or parents being separated from their kids, or kids being separated from their mothers, which is quite sad actually, seeing a child being separated from their mom. I don't know what I would do or how my life could be like if I ever got separated from my mother. It's such a sad thing to happen to anyone, to any child, to any parent. And remember, these people are not here celebrating that people are getting deported. These people are simply telling you, we told you, but you didn't want to listen to us. So many times I've seen people in the comment section when I do videos about Latinos saying that black people talked and you said they were loud. Black people talked, you insulted them. Black people told you what was happening and why you should not vote as you voted. You called them woke. And now the consequences are actually hitting harder than you ever thought. And it's not like the orange man hid all this from you. He said it from the first day. Every single time when he was doing his campaign, mass deportation was one of the things that he actually campaigned a lot with. And a good number of you Hispanic people went on ahead and voted for him in big numbers. And now your people are here online crying and blaming the black community for what's happening. So when I did another video about Latinos on how they're regretting their votes, there's actually someone who sent me an email, and I wanted to read what this person told me, and they were trying to get me to understand why Latinos actually voted as they voted against their own self-interest. So he said the concept of white Latinos overestimating acceptance from racist systems, specifically amongst racist white Americans, is a nuanced issue tied to the intersection of racial identity, privilege, and cultural hierarchy. It highlights a critical tension. The assumption by some white Latinos from their proximity to whiteness will shield them from racialized prejudice and the reality that they remain outsiders within a system that racializes and marginalizes Latino as an ethnic category. So he went on ahead and explained about the hierarchy view of race in racist system. Number one, saying prioritize culture purity. Whiteness in the US is not only about skin color, but also about cultural makers such as language, religion, and behaviors associated with Anglo-American norms. White Latinos, despite their light skin, are often excluded from this elite category because their culture and ethnic background, e.g. speaking Spanish, Latino surnames ties to Latin America, position them as foreigners, foreign, or others. So if you're a Latino watching this, in as much as you think just because you are very close to, physically looking like them, to them you'll always be a foreigner and you'll never belong. And that's just the reality of how things are. Constructs Latinos as racialized identity. This is the number 2. In the US, Latino is racialized as a non-white identity, regardless of physical appearance. This means that even white Latinos who might phenotypically appear similar to white Americans are grouped with the darker-skinned Latinos, Afro-Latinos, and indigenous Latinos in a racialized framework. This flattening of Latino identity erases the diversity within the group while reinforcing stereotypes and exclusion. So he went on ahead and explained to me why white Latinos overestimate acceptance. So historically privileged in the Latin America. So this is how it is in the Latin America. White Latinos often come from privileged positions in their home countries, where lighter skin and European heritage are associated with power and status. And this is not only like in Latin America. You've seen this happening in so many other countries and other nations with black people or the melanated people, where they tend to believe that light-skinned people are way much better, or they get to feel privileged just because of their skin color. And it's quite sad because you guys, you'll never be them and you'll never belong. You just have to accept the reality of how things are. So they say this privilege can lead to expectation that they will occupy a similar privileged status in the US. In Latin America, whiteness is tied to socioeconomic advantage, and many white Latinos internalize the belief that these advantages are universally recognized, which they are not. They're only recognized back in your country, not in the States. Misunderstanding of US racial constructs. In the US, whiteness is a social construct shaped by historical exclusionary practices. Immigrant groups like Irish, Italian, and Jewish people were not initially considered white and had to assimilate into white Anglo culture over generations. White Latinos often misjudge their position in this construct, expecting to bypass the cultural assimilation process due to their phenotypical whiteness. Desire to distance from marginalization. This is actually, I've seen so many Latinos who actually don't want. I actually saw this Latino man that I did a video on. You can go back and check. It's a video like about 4 months old of this Latino woman coming for black people, and to be specific, for black women. And she's like, we're not like you. My community is not like you. And she was saying so many nasty things about the black American women. And it was so painful to listen to her. But, later she actually effed around and, she later found out. And I'm sure till today, she actually regrets what happened to her. So desire to distance from marginalization. Some white Latinos attempt to align with whiteness to distance themselves from the marginalization faced by darker-skinned Latinos, indigenous people, and Afro-Latinos. This strategy often backfires as their cultural identity remains a barrier to full acceptance. So he also taught me or got to, and I felt like sharing this with you to learn the negative impacts on society, perpetuation of racial hierarchies, internalized racism and colorism, exclusion of Afro-Latinos and indigenous Latinos, microaggressions and hostility, harm to broader social cohesion. So how can this cycle be broken? If you're Latino watching this, education and awareness, building solidarity within Latindad, challenging racist systems, representation and advocacy. So in conclusion, he actually said the danger of white Latinos overestimating their acceptance into racist systems lies in the perpetuation of hierarchies that harm not only themselves but also the broader Latino at large. Now you see these illegal Latinos or the illegal Hispanic people are going through this because of actually legal citizens, legal Latino citizens of, Latinos who are citizens of the United States of America, because they voted against their own people's self-interest, and because they were like, yeah, there's no way this is gonna happen, we belong here, we just like them, we are the same, we can eat on the same table, and now they're finding out the hard way. So he said broader Latino community and society as a whole, understanding the historical, cultural, and systematic factors at play is critical for fostering unity, dismantling racism, and creating a society that values diversity and equity. Only through collective effort can these damaging myths and visions be overcome. So those are the things that actually so many people that need to learn. There's actually another guy I saw, a Latino guy, who actually was telling Latinos that ain't feeling sorry for you because everything that you're going through, you voted for this. When you're getting separated from your kids, it's because your people voted for this. Like, he's Latino and he was like, no, I'm not feeling sorry for you guys. He also went on ahead and tried to teach them of their history and so many other things that I think most people that voted against their own self-interest did not understand. And I sat down and I was like, how can you be like this and you're Latino? But at some point, I got to understand him, because I don't understand how politics, like how you allow politics to divide you and your own community. I don't understand how you go on ahead and vote against your own people when he's been saying all through that there's going to be mass deportation. Imagine if you have your relatives in the United States of America, now they're getting deported. People are being detained. I heard that some are not even getting, time to shower. There's so many things that are happening. And you know why everything is happening, or all this is happening? It's because of you, Latinos, who are actually legal in the States and actually voted against your people's self-interest. It's because of you, Latino, who actually, you are a legal citizen. You did not advocate for people to vote for your people's self-interest. You are just sitting there and quiet about it. At that point, it didn't bother you. But now that you're seeing your people getting deported, it's bothering you. And now you want to blame all these on the black people that are simply just trying to tell people, we told you and you never listened. We told you and you insulted us. We talked, you said we are loud, and so many other things that so many people are actually saying about the black community. And now you want to come here and blame the black community of not showing up when the people are getting deported. What can the black community do? What will the black people do? They are not the government. They are not the ones that are putting these policies in place. They only tried to tell you that these policies will come to affect you, and now you want to blame them for everything that's happening. I don't think that's fair, and I hope this is going to be a lesson to each and every other person out there living in the United States of America. Black Americans have been there for ages. They've been with these people, with the government and all that, and when they actually tell you who to vote for, they are doing this because they are telling you to vote for your own self-interest, not against your own self-interest, because they know how the system works. They know how the racist system works. They know who is for you, who is for them, and who is for the marginalized community, who is for women. But most people don't want to listen, and this is why people are getting what they're getting. And yeah, that's all I had to say. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, kindly. And until the next episode, bye.